This is little Hey, this is Little Black Book, and we're here to help you set the bar. That is to build, acquire, and repair your relationships in order to bring about the maximum output from them. Today, we're going to be talking to you about the mindset of fear. So, I want to bring a little story from the Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth book, okay? That is Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. It's a great book. Make sure you read it. I want to take a book from that called Samuel, okay? And it talks about a young man, 17-year-old guy, who goes up against a giant. Now, no one gives this guy a chance in the world. Nobody says this guy has a chance in the world. Okay, he's a little scrawny, not even scrawny, he's a little 17-year-old lad against an 8 foot, 9 foot, depending on how you want to judge it, guy who has been fighting since his youth. Okay, it's like having Mayweather, okay, fight somebody who has never boxed in their whole entire life. It's just not gonna run. Like, Mayweather's gonna run that guy into the ground. Okay, so that's David, that's Goliath. Oh, you know the story already, don't you? Yeah. Okay, now you're probably asking, wondering, where does that fit into everything I'm talking about? I want you to understand, when you read a story in the Basic Instructions Leaving Earth book, you'll find that David had no fear at all when it came to Goliath. Unlike the rest of the army of Israel. Now, the army of Israel decided that they're going to run when they see this giant. The giant came for 40 days, okay? They came for 40 days to test Israel's army, okay? And every day the Israelites ran away. But David, a 17-year-old young man, came in and said, I want to fight this guy. So today we're talking to you about the power of a mindset. David had a mindset that was fearless. So much so that it was said that it would take about 12,000 men to take David out. Now, that's the kind of stuff that you see on Jet Li. That's the kind of stuff you see in Jackie Chan. That's the kind of stuff you see on those kung fu movies where they just keep on banging, man. But this is real life. It can happen. I want to take another book from the Basic Instructions Leaving Earth, and it's going to start the conquest of what we're actually talking about. It says in this book that fear is a spirit, and that spirit has not been given to us. Cool. So what do I mean? When we're talking about fear, we have to talk about the fact that it has the ability to influence, because a spirit has the ability to influence you. That's what a spirit is, the ability to influence you. So fear is a spirit. So we're going to take point one. We're going to talk about how fear cripples you and stops you from building great relationships with people. Number one, fear itself freezes you. Okay, it holds your tongue, if you want to say it. In order to build relationships, you're going to talk. So one of the ways that fear grips people is that it makes people conscious in social environments and they can't talk. So fear grips you, it freezes you. As one would say, it's like a deer in headlights. So one way fear manifests itself is that it stops you from talking, which stops you from communicating. And since most of our communication is through tongue, then a lot of your communications in order to build relationships with people fail. Fear actually makes you anxious or makes you agitative in the presence of people. Now, we would call that anxiousness or anxiety, but it's a fear. Okay, it's born out of a fear. In fact, scientists would say there are two wavelengths that exist: love and fear. Now, when fear exerts itself, people become anxious and become agitated in the presence of people, and they make other people who are around them nervous. And when you're nervous, you find it very difficult to relate to people. Have you ever been around somebody who's just nervous, is agitated, they can't find their words? In fact, them understand what I'm talking about. Guys understand what I'm talking about. When you see a beautiful girl and suddenly you're now, I want to say, ooh, I want to, like, you're off. What? Where was the hello? Where was hi? My name is Coach Darkwa. Why can't you instruct yourself like that? Fear grips people. Okay, it stops them from being able to relate to people through anxiousness and agitation. Fear stops the risk side of you. The risk side of you. There was a saying that if you don't risk, you can't win. Yeah, without the risk, you won't see reward. Okay, Del Boy used to say, listen, if you don't put your hat in, you know what I mean, you ain't gonna reap nothing. You know what I mean? Probably that's not what he said, but he said something close to that. And you know what I mean? Cool. Anyway, so what fear does, it stops your risk. It stops you from taking risk. It makes you risk adversely. Okay, it makes you it makes you overly conscious on the risk side. Okay, and so what happens is, for instance, I mentioned man approaching girl. To approach a girl is a risk. You never know what you're gonna get back. But if you feel fear, it stops you from, you will make so many excuses. That's probably the point I should make. Fear makes people have excuses to not do something. Okay, now the opposite of fear would be faith, not love. It'd be faith, which is born out of love. Okay, so out of love you act in faith. What is faith? To take a step or a leap when you don't know what's out there. But actually, faith is actually understanding there's a substance that you can stand upon even though you can't see it. Faith makes you understand that even though you cannot touch it, it's not tangible, you know it exists. For instance, when you leave your house, you know you're coming back. You tell yourself, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. You have no tangible evidence or no tangible substance to let you guarantee that you're coming back. But you've made plans. How? Faith. So in the same measure, fear stops the faith side and stops you from acting out. It makes you risk adverse. Fear is contagious. I'll be honest with you. If you're a fearful person, you will hang around with people who are also fearful. Here's why. Because people who are walking in faith, people who are moving in faith, people who are moving in taking risks, don't like to hang around people who are very risk averse. Why? Because your risk averseness. You ever been around somebody who, when you tell them your dream, like, I want to build the greatest sweet shop, and the person goes, nah, I don't think it's going to work. No, I've seen it's not going to work. Yeah, but you haven't thought about this, and you haven't thought about that. And they're just, fear breeds negativity. That's what I should say. Fear breeds negativity. And fear has to hang around with fear, because negativity attracts negativity. It doesn't attract positivity. Okay, it's not North and South Pole. Okay, it's not electronics. Fear attracts fear. So someone who's a fearful person won't want to be around somebody who's not that way, because that puts a light on them and forces them to move out of the fear zone. Okay, it blocks your vision. Okay, when you have a vision, sorry, I should say correct it. It blocks the manifestation of your vision. What I mean is this: you have a vision. I want to make the greatest sweet shop. Cool. But in order to make it happen, you have to be less risk averse. But people can't do that. So what happens is it blocks your vision. You wanted that girl, you seen her, she looks bad. You're like, yeah, let me go and approach her. But then your fear says, nah, G, you're not ready for that. It blocks your manifestation of your vision. Do you get it? So whenever you have a dream, I have a dream, will be blocked by fear. If Martin Luther King was afraid of people killing him, he would have never gone on that stage to tell you, I have a dream that a little black girl and a little white boy could be, okay, cool. You get my drift. You get it. You know what I'm saying? So part one, okay, this is part one. Fear is a spirit. The ability to influence you to not do what you need to do. Part two, we are going to talk about where does it come from. So part two, we are going to talk about where does fear come from, the origins of fear. Listen, Little Black Book is again here to help you set the bar, build, acquire and repair relationships. Guys, check in, check out, but like, share, subscribe. Yeah, I think that's correct. 2008 is going to be mad.